Hi, I'm Sophie Snow. Welcome to my cooking show. Today I'm going to show you how to make the best no-bake chocolate pie. It's super simple to make and it has a secret ingredient that will surprise you. So the first step is to make the pie crust. This is a no-bake pie crust. We're using Oreo cookies. These are gluten-free. Of course, they make non-gluten-free Oreos as well. We're going to do 30 cookies in here. This pack of gluten-free Oreos has 33 cookies. That means 3 left for us. We're also using the cookies with the fillings inside. Now we're going to process them. So you're going to pulse these until they are a fine crumb. Fine crumb? Crumb. Maybe a little bit more. Let's check. Looks pretty good. A fine crumb, kind of like sand. And when we put the other ingredients in, it'll become like a wet sand. If you have any big chunks, just pull them out and eat them. Now we're going to mix the crumbs with melted butter. I always make a mess. Okay, get every last bit here. Really easy, right? Now we have melted butter, 6 tablespoons. And if you are a vegan, of course, use vegan butter. This is vegan butter here. Now you're going to stir it and mix it really well for the melted butter to kind of soak into those crumbs. But you want it to still be warm because you want it to kind of solidify with the crumbs later. We're going to chill this in the refrigerator after we press it into the pie pan. Now if you want a sweeter pie crust, you can always add sugar. I think it's plenty sweet with the Oreos in there, but some people like a really sweet dessert. So you can add up to 1/4 cup granulated sugar. We're going to pour this right into our pie pan here. This is a 10-inch pie pan. Now, if you wanted to make a 9-inch pie, or if you don't have a 10-inch pie pan, decrease the cookies to about 26 cookies instead of 30. And decrease your butter to 5 tablespoons of butter instead of 6. Now we're going to press this in here, just making it flat all the way around, kind of evenly. That's kind of a good starting point. Now that we have it evenly in the bottom of the pan, take a measuring cup with a flat bottom. I mean, most of them have flat bottoms, right? Is there a measuring cup with like a pointy bottom? Maybe a funnel? Well, that wouldn't be a measuring cup. You're going to press the crumbs down until it's like a dense thickness at the bottom of the pan and up the sides. When I get to the sides, I use the side of the measuring cup and I put my finger up here against the side so I can kind of control where the crumbs go so that the crumbs don't go off the edge. You don't want crumbs jumping off the edge of the pan. I also use my finger to kind of press down on the edge there so that it forms like a nice, solid, smooth edge. Now you definitely want to make sure that you are pressing hard enough against the crumbs so that it solidifies into a pie crust, a pie shell. Since this is a crumb mixture, it tends to get crumbly and fall apart. And then the final step is to go back and smush down the bottom. The smush a word? Smash? Smush? Okay, I think we are good there. So put this in the refrigerator for a couple hours so it can solidify. And while it's chilling, we'll make the filling. You'll need Mori-Nu Silken Tofu Soft. And this needs to be at room temperature so that the melted chocolate doesn't solidify when it touches it. Next, we need 1.5 cups of chocolate chips, which we're going to melt in the microwave. Be right back. Now we have our melted chocolate chips. That's 1.5 cups of chocolate chips that we put in a microwave. And remember, the tofu has to be room temperature because you don't want the chocolate chips to start hardening right here in the blender when it touches the cold tofu. And Mori-Nu Silken tofu, which we used here, is shelf stable. So you don't need to put it in the refrigerator until you open it. That's why that tofu is perfect for something like this. And that's our secret ingredient for this delicious chocolate pie. Now we add 1/2 cup of sugar. And then we blend it. Now I'm going to scrape it down, just to make sure that we get all of the sugar and things that are still stuck. So you want to be careful with your spatula so that you don't get it too close to the blades. I've ruined a few that way. I'm on my tippy toes here. One more spin and I think we're good. This is the pie crust that we chilled for a couple of hours so that the crust could solidify. And we have our filling. We're going to pour that right into the pie crust with a spatula. So this is kind of like a chocolate mousse or chocolate pudding, and you could eat it as is if you'd like, you know, just served in like a dessert cup, dessert glass or something, a bowl, or straight out of the blender, or use it as a pie filling. You know, if you have kids around, they always love to lick the spoons and stuff. Just don't let the kids lick the blender blades. Well, I mean, they can't get their head in there anyway. So we're going to chill this in the refrigerator. Again, yes, you have to be patient. It allows it to solidify even more with the filling in there. So the reason why I didn't fill it to the top is because this filling is so chocolatey and rich that I wanted to leave some room for the whipped cream. The balance of whipped cream and chocolate filling is perfect, where the ratio is like this much. There we go. So into the refrigerator this goes for about 4 to 6 hours, or preferably overnight. You want it to be nice and firm, but still like have that soft mousse-like chocolatey bite to it. It's not really a bite. So be back soon. Now we have our beautiful chocolatey pie. This was chilled overnight, so it should be just the perfect texture. Next comes the toppings. We're going to use vegan whipped cream here. Of course, if you're not vegan, you can use regular whipped cream, but I highly suggest you use vegan. This is delicious. I love this brand. Just scoop this, pour it right into a bowl. You can see this doesn't look like, you know, the perfectly fluffy whipped cream that you get when you make fresh whipped cream. It's not a problem because I have a solution. A whisk. You want to get some air into here so that it fluffs up a bit and it gets that nice fluffy whipped cream texture. Just whisk it by hand a bit, and you can tell already, look at the soft peaks there. That's what you want with whipped cream, right? And this stuff is so tasty. Like, I literally could eat a whole tub of it. It's so good. Now let's scoop this on top of our pie. Lovely. So I saved lots of room here for the whipped cream, and you can see this was just the right amount to fill it up to the top. I also work as a food stylist, so I tend to want to make my food look pretty beautiful. Now I like to top it off with chocolate shavings and some fruit. So one option is just chocolate shavings, and I'm just taking a chocolate bar here that has been, it's pretty much room temperature, but you could chill it so it's harder. Of course, if you're vegan, you can use vegan chocolate because obviously not all chocolate is vegan. So it's really easy, just use like a vegetable peeler. Makes a little bit of a mess. Now you could stop right here and you've got a beautiful chocolate pie already, or I like to top it off with fruit. I love strawberries with chocolate, and this pie is so rich and chocolatey that I think the fruit really adds something to it. It gives it that kind of freshness and a little bit of acidity so that it gives a contrast to the chocolate and the sweetness of the whole pie. I'm gonna eat this one. I've made this pie many times for family and they really don't even know or believe that it's vegan and gluten-free. So here's our finished pie. Now let's take a slice and taste it. That's so good. It's like melt in your mouth. That chocolate, the whipped cream, the crunch from the Oreo cookie crust is just a great combination. I think I'm gonna go share this with my family. I think. I promise I will. I'm Sophie Snow. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and ring that notification bell so you know when I post my next video. And I'll see you next time. Okay, that's a blooper. Cut. Smish, smosh. What do you call that? Whipper. A handheld whipper. Beating thing. What do you call that? A pie knife? I have a feeling this isn't gonna work out. We have another pie.